What's up, everyone? Hope everyone's doing well. My name is Mohammed Fahad, and this is my final presentation for Spreadsheet Application and Business at Baruch College with Professor Wheeler. In this presentation, I'm going to focus on the Solver tool in Excel, and you guys may be wondering, what is Solver? So I'm going to start with a quick description. Solver is a Microsoft Excel add-in program that you can use for what-if analysis. Use Solver to find an optimal, maximum, or minimum value for a formula in one cell, called the objective cell, subject to constraint or limits on the value of other formula cells on a worksheet. Solver works with a group of cells called decision variables or simply variable cells that are used in computing the formula in the objective and constraint cells. Solver adjusts the value in decision variable cells to satisfy the limit on constraint cells and produce the result you want. In this case, is me, for the objective cell. Simply, you can use Solver to determine the maximum or minimum value of one cell by changing other cell. For example, today I'll be going over this worksheet here, which we would determine how many units needs to be sold in order to have an income of $10,000. And before I start, I want to say that Solver is a tool that is utilized every day for small business owners to medium size to big corporation. We can be sitting here for hours trying to figure this out. But with this tool, it makes it effective. It works with very complex situations, and it makes your life so much easier. Solver is a very powerful tool and is used for complex statistical modeling. Indeed, it is complex, but at the same time, it is an easy to use tool if you know what you are doing. So let's go ahead and get started. For any of you that don't have Solver, it is an add-in. I'll quickly go over how you can add Solver in Excel. So you just go into options, and then you'll go into add-ins, and then manage Excel add-ins. You'll go there, and you'll have to tick the box for Solver add-ins and click OK. I already have Solver, so I won't have to do that. So here, the scenario I like to use is Walmart is launching a new product, a Duracell battery product, and the price per unit is $9.99, and the cost per unit is $2.50, and they are projecting to have an income of $10,000. So they want to know how much unit needs to be sold. So let's go ahead to our Solver tool, and so we're gonna set our objective to income, which would have a value of $10,000. Oops. And then our changing variables would be unit sold. Oops. Price per unit. And of course, cost per unit. So let's just go ahead and solve and see what Solver says. Alright, so Solver found the solution, but we have some problems, right? Because the price per unit is $15, but we want to sell it for $9.99 because the consumer wouldn't want to overpay for those batteries. And then the cost per unit, it's less than what we would pay the wholesale merchant. Obviously, that won't happen. So we have to go back, cancel, and then we have to add some constraints. So let's go ahead and do that. And so this, well, first we have to add this as an integer. Then we will want to do a cell reference for price per unit and it has to be less than $9.99 or equal to, and then we want to do another solve reference for cost per unit, which would also be less than or equal to 250, and then let's solve. Great, and that is a number that is most satisfying. Perfect. So now moving on to our next scenario, and here we have so here we have 9 conference rooms, and this is a scenario that I hear from project managers all the time. They're either under budget or over budget, and now they're like, what do we do, right? And no one likes to overpay or underpay from my aspect of having conversation with these project managers. But the biggest challenge of their day-to-day work is when they're under budget. They're squeezing numbers and trying to allocate them in other parts and just trying to make sense out of it, right? So here we have some constraints, and the constraints are total budget should not exceed $60,000. So that's good because our total cost is 57. Extra cost should not exceed $1,000, but they only projected 500 for the extra cost. Fixed cost should remain at $2,000. That's also good because we're also at the same number. And then the total project cost for each project should not exceed $9,000. Now that's where we have a problem, because for some conference rooms we have 10,500 and then we have 9,500, which are overly cost. So let's go ahead to solver. And here we set our objective already to the total cost, which is 57,600. Our changing variables. So let's reset this and just do it together. So we're going to set our objective to the total cost to the total value of 60,000. And then our changing variables will be the extra cost and the cost per room, which is also part of the total cost, which is calculated in the total cost. And then we want to add the constraints, and then our constraints are that the extra costs should be less than or equal to, and then we can just do a cell reference to this. Add that. And then for our second constraint, we want to do is the total cost here should be less than equal to, do a cell reference to the constraint here and add, and then let's solve. And solver has found a solution. Perfect. These are much more satisfying numbers, and we have a more projected objective for the conference rooms, and where they can allocate the budgets properly. And yeah, these are numbers to accept. I hope you guys found this helpful. I hope I was able to articulate how Solver is effective and a very useful tool that, again, small business owner, medium business owners, large corporation utilizes every single day. Thank you all for watching, and happy holidays. Thank you.